So I've got a mother hen turkey, and all our little ones came out right along my driveway, right outside my breakfast bar window here. They, every time it stops raining, they've been coming out in the open to dry off. You can see they're, zoom in on them here. They keep sort of grooming themselves, and it's kind of hard to get it through this wet window here. Trying to film them through this wet window at an angle, but yeah, they're just grooming themselves and kind of resting and drying off, and it's hard to count them. They keep getting bunched up like that. The best I've been able to do so far is that there's 13 of them, and some of them are just laying down in the grass right now resting, and some of them are still doing what the mothers do and just kind of sort of picking themselves and grooming themselves, and every once in a while they fan out and flap their wings around and trying to dry off. Seems like when this camera's zoomed way in, it doesn't do such a good job. There's something on the lens, I think, or something on the window here. I'm not sure which. But you can see, where I live here. I've got this big field in front of my window here that I sit here and watch the deer, watch the turkeys. Yeah, there's ticks in there, I'm sure, so I haven't walked down through there in months. I've got way down at the other end of there, I've got a salt block for the deer and a game camera that I take pictures of the deer with, and I got a bird feeder here that something stole the suet holder again. I don't know if it's raccoons or bears or what. They're starting to move over here. I see the mother coming out. Looks like they're gonna walk out on the driveway a little bit. Now a bunch of them have gotten out right on the driveway. I think a couple of them are even laying down on the driveway. A lot of them are still standing up trying to dry out. It has poured down rain here several times today, and you can see them still grooming themselves and trying to dry off. I think this camera got wet inside when I was camping last week, and might have to do the rice bag trick on it. I don't know how clear that is, but this is the big hen that I had coming into the bird feeder during the winter time. I think I posted some pictures of it coming right into that bird feeder there pretty much a couple times a day. Hasn't been coming around lately, and this explains why. She finally started bringing these little ones around now that they're getting big enough to get out in the open without hopefully getting predators getting them. We have hawks here. We also have coyotes and fishers and foxes and different predators, and she still has 13. That's doing pretty good. She must have had a big brood. She must have had a lot of eggs, because that's a pretty big hen. They've just been hanging out here right there. They came the whole way up from way down there by those crabapple trees or whatever those are, and worked their way up along the edge of the driveway. They don't want to go out in those deep weeds. Those weeds are, I don't know, some of that stuff's waist high or higher, which is why I haven't walked down in there lately, because I don't want to get ticks on me, and when I do, I spray down with permethrin, and haven't lately. But yeah, they don't want to go in there and get soaking wet in those wet leaves, so when it's like this, they like to come out in the open like that, so it gives us a chance to finally see them. I'll see if I can get it better out of my kitchen sink window here. It's kind of difficult to reach up there. It's sort of a bay window that doesn't have as much rain on it right now, because it was raining sideways for quite a while, so that other window that I usually take pictures out of is covered with drops of water. She just constantly swivels her head around, keeping an eye out for danger, and can't hear them because the windows are all shut up, but this gives you a better idea of where I live. That's about a third of a mile driveway. Right down there where it all comes together, it turns to gravel, and it's gravel all the way from there down to the main road. And that's my landlord's house there. So, you know, that's the only house within view of here. And then back behind is all woods for a couple miles in a couple directions. And there's some houses that are down at the bottom of that hill there that are, you know, you can't see them, and I can just barely hear the road traffic if it's something loud like a truck or a Harley or something. So it's pretty quiet up here. Other hen's now going over into the taller weeds, picking around, feeding, you know, bugs. I don't know if they eat the seeds off the grass or what, but they pick around for bugs and worms, and we'll see if the little ones follow her. Usually they'll follow right behind her in a line. They were here yesterday for, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours later in the day. They stayed way down in all that tall grass, eating, you know, grasshoppers and bugs and stuff, because it wasn't raining yesterday. They came out here to dry off today. Some of them are still laying right on the hard pavement there. That's funny. So I managed to get the window open without them getting nervous. And I'll try to talk low. I don't know if the camera will pick this up or not, but I don't want to scare them away. I'm going to wait and see if they come even closer over, or if they head back down where they came from. The wind is going in a little bit now. I can feel it coming in the window here, so that will be helping them dry out a bit. They're pretty quiet right now, but when they're down in the weeds where maybe she can't keep track of all of them, they putt and cluck around a lot. I don't know if she's acting nervous because she can hear me, or she can maybe even see me. Their eyes are incredible. Because right now they're probably, I'm going to say, about 100 feet from me. I'd say they're about 30 yards. The turkeys are still here, trying to talk quietly so they don't hear me. And as you can see, that one lone turkey is still laying on the pavement. It's hard to hold this steady with it zoomed in like that. And if you look closely, you can see the mother hen and the other ones are doing it too. They pick themselves. It's said that turkeys and chickens eat ticks, so you know, I'm sure any ticks that get on them, or any other bird, any other bugs for that matter, they're picking off and eating them, and so that's a good thing. Maybe that'll keep the ticks away. And so I don't mind if we have 100 turkeys here every day. Yeah, they're just fun to watch. I think they're pretty creatures that God made. That is definitely a big hen. Well, the sun's peeking out a little bit now, and they're still hanging out here, drying out. I don't know if the camera picks that up or not, but almost all those little ones have laid back down. They got up for a second, and then they kind of flapped their wings and dried off a little bit, and then laid back down. And now a lot of them they lay there with their wings spread out. Every time the sun comes out, it seems like they kind of open their wings while they're laying down. I'm trying to describe that, and just trying to dry off. Okay, the landlord just drove down the driveway, and they got a little nervous, and they all jumped up. And let's see what happens. There he goes down the driveway. I don't know if you can see that. He's got a big diesel truck. started moving around. So it looks like they may venture off somewhere safer.